Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slang Hope. And I got another story time for y'all. And this story is about when the CO told me, she was gonna hook me up with some joint. You know what I'm saying? But before I get into the story, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. That's how my stuff gets circulated. But anyway, more so the likes, more than anything. That's how YouTube do its thing. So boom. So remember I told you I was in 3 Block. So, I got some more stories about 3 Block, but I just want to give y'all this story. So anyway, so I spent like a year in the blood houses, right? I went from 9 Block to 3 Block. 3 Block was also a blood house. But these houses in the summertime, they was like ovens. They didn't have no windows. They didn't have no type of like circulation, like no good ventilation. It was horrible. It was terrible living in these houses in the summertime. Like you'll go to sleep, you'll wake up drenched, your sheets full of sweat. You could literally wring like your sheets and it would be like full of sweat. Like it was crazy. So I told myself, I was like, I'm not spending another summer here. So before, so I had probably 11 months, because I got to the adults like in June. So it was summertime when I got to the adults. So before the next summertime came, like around March, I made it my business. I was like, yo, I'm out of here. I'm getting about these houses. So one way to get about these houses was either you gonna tell them you was Crip, you know what I'm saying? Because they got to put you, the Crips used to live in the annex in the Beacon, and they had the air conditioning. You know what I'm saying? They was living good in the Beacon. So either you was going to say you was Crip, but that would get you SRG, meaning you'll have a gang profile, and I definitely didn't want that. Or 2, you had to tell them you was heat sensitive. Heat sensitive meaning you can't be in extreme hot conditions. So, that's like a health issue. So they will move you if you was heat sensitive. So what I did was, and it wasn't on purpose, one day I had nosebleeds. So one day I woke up in the summertime, and I was my nose was kind of like stuffy, and then when I blew it out, it was blood, it was dry blood in my nose. So I used to bleed from my nose, you know what I'm saying, when it was extremely hot. So I went and I told them that I had those issues, and then they didn't want to get me, they didn't want to move me. They didn't just make anybody heat sensitive like that, because a lot of times they used to do it for older people and stuff like that, and they used to actually just reserve the houses for the Crip dudes. So anyway, I went, I told them, yo, I'm having trouble with my nose, I'm bleeding. And then the lady just gave me a little nasal spray. So she was like, oh, you're gonna be good. I'm like, what if the bleeding doesn't stop? What if I still have those issues? She said, oh, you won't. In jail they don't really be caring like that about your health. So they do a little this, little that, just to try to give you a little patch up and get you up out of there. So anyway, there was a Muslim doctor, Dr. Ron John, I think was his name. There was a Muslim doctor that was there too. He was mad cool as hell, So when I came for the follow-up, I seen him. So on my follow-up, I was talking to him, and he was telling me oh, what's going on? What's the issues? And I was just yo, I've been having nosebleeds. I've been having those type of problems, because it's very hot in those houses, et cetera, et cetera. So he was just all right, cool. So he was just yo, I'm gonna make you heat sensitive. So I was all right, cool. He set up the paperwork. He told me do you want somebody to pack you up? Because he said once I put it in the system, they're not gonna send you back to the house. They're just gonna have somebody pack your stuff. So I was like, nah, put it in like 15 minutes from now, because I want to go make sure I pack my stuff up. Because again, I told you, people be stealing other people's stuff. So I was I want to make sure I get my stuff. So I was do it 15 minutes from now. I'm gonna go back to the house, pack my stuff up. So I went back to the house, packed my stuff up. Boom, I'm out of here. So they sent me to the annex, heat sensitive. And then, so when I got to the annex, well, this is not the house where the CO told me she was gonna hook me up with Shorty. It was another house, but this is I told you the story about when something popped on me, whatever. So I ended up getting to the other house and stuff like that. So anyway, when I was at the other house, I was at 19, right? So that's the house block, 19. So when I was over there, there was the CO, she was on maternity leave when I was over there. Or before, when I got there, she wasn't there. She was on maternity leave, so she was going on break or whatever. So I'm in the crib, chilling, whatever. And then all of a sudden, she comes back. So when she comes back, she's kind of like, she's looking around to see who's still there from when she left. So she's kind of like, oh, mind you, this was a little minute. Like she was gone for like a little bit. So she comes back and she's just like, oh, like who's still here, who's not here. So one day we was going to the yard. So she goes like, she sees me. So I come out. I put my sweater on because I'm going to the yard. So she said something to me. She said something slick to me, and I was like, what? And then she was just like, we just got into an argument. So, we started like fake beef. And mind you, this is her first day back. So she calls the other CO. She was like, yo, the other CO name was Feliciano. So she's like, yo, Feliciano, who is this dude? So she was like, you better tell this dude. So before that, she was like, oh, motherfucker, you better know who I am. Like, if you don't know who I am, you better learn. So, she used to fake run the house. So she talking all this crazy stuff to me. I was like, I don't give a fuck who you is. Like, fuck out of here. Like, so, we arguing or whatever. So then she calls the CO or whatever. The CO comes. The CO's like, she said, yo, you better tell this motherfucker about me. Whatever. And I was like, whatever. Like, I don't even care who you are. So whatever. So when the lady come, she goes, Alvarez? So when she said that, I was just like, so she was like, Alvarez? So she was just like, she was like dumbfounded, like, had a Hispanic name, right? Or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? A Spaniard last name. So she's kind of like looking at me. And then like, so after that, her whole demeanor changed, right? Like when she heard that, so whatever. I go out to the yard, whatever, we go to the yard. I come back from the yard. She calls me in the bubble. So she's like, come here. And she like mad friendly with it. Like, she like, yo, come here. So I go in the bubble and I'm like, what's up? Like, I still remember what she did prior to me going to the yard. So I'm like, what's up? So she like, oh, she's like, where you from? She said, I didn't know you was Spanish or whatever. So I'm looking at her like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you in jail. You feel me? So you kind of like, I mean, I still don't fuck with her because of what she did. And I already knew, like, her vibe only changed because of my last name. So now I'm like, oh, my family, they reside in Honduras or whatever. So she was like, oh, really? She was like, oh, I be going to Roatan. Roatan is like a little island of Honduras where tourists go over there, for vacation and stuff like that. So she was like, I be going to Roatan all the time. She was just like, oh, I didn't know you was blah, 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 blah. So now she like all friendly and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So after that, like, all the time she used to be on some fake cool stuff. Every time she used to see me, she used to smile at me. She used to be like, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, on some weird. She was an older joint too. I ain't gonna lie, she was a nice little older joint. So anyway, so she like, doing all of that or whatever. So she used to be mad cool. And during this interaction, she at one time she told me, like, she was like, oh, I don't fuck with black people. She was just like, I give them what they want. Like, she was just like, I'm not gonna deprive them of anything. Like, if they need soap, if they need toothpaste, if they need shoes, if they need sheets, whatever they need, I'm gonna give it to them. But she was like, but I don't fuck with black people. I respected it because she was honest. You feel me? I'd rather somebody be honest than somebody be fake with it. So she was straight up. But I already knew that because her whole demeanor changed once she heard my last name, right? So anyway, through this not relationship, because whatever, but she used to act mad nice. She also like, she used to be bringing the Spanish dude stuff. Like, she used to, what I'm saying, I never seen it, but I whatever, it was rumors that she used to be bringing like the Spanish dudes, like, certain stuff like food or other things, what I'm saying. Some people even used to say bangers. I don't know how true that was, but anyway, one day she calls me to the bubble and she talking to me. And then she said, yo, I got a friend for you. Or some shit. So I was like, you got a friend for me? Like, she called me off guard with that. Because, you know what I'm saying? She's a guard. You got to keep you're not supposed to be fraternizing with the inmates, right? So she was just like, yo, I got a friend for you. So I was like, you got a friend for me? So, like, I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, I just left it alone. Like, a lot of dudes be thirsty in jail. So when she said that, I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I left it alone. A few days after that, or maybe like a few weeks or a month, I come back and I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, what happened to that friend you had for me? So she like, when you get out. I was like, come on. I was like, that's crazy. Like, I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna beat my case. Like, you wilding. Like, so she was just like, nah, like, come on, come on. You in jail right now. Like, just when you get out, I got you. I was like, where am I gonna find you when I get out? You know what I'm saying? So like, she was just like, oh, she started describing her friend and all this crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that was just like the conversation. But she had my hopes all the way up. Like I'm thinking she about to plug me. Like I'm thinking about to begin the visits. I'm she just crushed my whole spirit when you get out. Like it was crazy. I was it's crazy because the other day I was like, damn, whatever happened to that CO? You feel me? It's crazy because you damn near never see the COs when you're in the street. Like I feel like I seen one CO at a cookout that was in there. She was a little baddie joint too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I seen her at a cookout. And a lot of times you don't really be knowing the COs by first name. So when I seen her at the cookout, I call her last name. And she was looking at me like a CO no. Like when you just know their last name off the rip, they be like, so and the crazy thing is that was the same CO that was in the house when dude rocked it on me. You feel me? Like in adults in 15. She was the CO that was working. So I seen how to cook out and she was like, yo, you staying out of trouble? You know, they always, try to like break the ice. And I was like, yeah, everything is good, I'm chilling. She wasn't a bad CO, you feel me? She wasn't like one of those other COs that be wilding and violating. So it was cool, but a lot of times they be a little nervous, they be a little scared, when they do see people that that was locked up that they was working with, because they be thinking like people gonna do something to them. But yeah, that was the story. I ain't gonna lie, I had another little joint that was on me when I was in there. It's like once you go from adolescence to adults, it'd be like a whole different vibe. Like even though you're just 1 year apart, like they really start looking at you different. Like they still look at you like you're young, but it's like they look at you like you know what I'm saying, like you with the adults, so they really be looking at you different, which is kind of weird because you just came from over there. But that's the story, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not too crazy, but stay tuned because I got way more stories. Have a good one. Peace.